Thank you for joining us on the program. A warm welcome to you. We are live for you in French and in English. This is the Morning Call. And yes, it is International Women's Day, celebrated on March 8th every year. The day serves as a focal point in the movement for women's rights. Now, to a quick brief history of how it all started. After the Socialist Party of America organized the Women's Day on February 28, 1909 in New York, the 1910 International Socialist Women's Conference suggested a Women's Day be held annually after women gained suffrage in the Soviet Russia in 1917. March 8th then became a national holiday there, and the day was then predominantly celebrated by the socialist movement and communist countries until it was adopted in 1975 by the United Nations. And here we are today, this year, 2019. The theme for the celebration for this year is #Balance for Better. So what do the calls for balance or gender parity mean in Africa, Barbara?
Sylvia Kasanga is one of the few female senators in Kenya, and she joined us to highlight on this issue. Happy Women's Day, and good to have you on the program. Women face many difficulties in many areas. In gender policy, there are some countries that stand out positively, like Rwanda. What about your country, Kenya?
Qu'en est-il de d'autres pays comme le vôtre, le Kenya?
And for me, this balance that we are talking about has been critical because we come from a patriarchal society like most Africans do. And it's always harder for us to transverse the canvas, whether it is education, whether it is human rights, whether it is politics. It's always difficult for women to find their space, and we have to work 10 times harder just to get our voice heard. In line with your question, when it comes to politics, it's been tough. It's very tough, even for us here in Kenya. Today, we've been fighting for 2/3 representation in parliament. And at the moment, we have barely hit a third number of women in our parliaments, both Senate and in the National Assembly. And the men have consistently blocked that law from being implemented. The law is already passed in our new constitution, and the men have consistently blocked. And that just shows you how tough it is to get past the men in this country just to get our rights as women. And there is no doubt that if we are part of policy making and legislation making, then definitely the rights of women are going to be addressed.
Do you think that women should be given a helping hand in the argument that the field has never been leveled for both men and women?
Therein is the problem. Because the field is not level, then it's unfair to say that we have the same capacity to fight it out. The problem is that the level has never been the same. They are always holding us back. And this is through the ages, through our traditional system, where the men are the ones who are always making decisions and laws and making, and being the leaders. We are now asking, we want to be on the same plate. They have to cede something for us to get there. Then now we can say, let us compete from a fair point of view. We are not asking to be given. No, we have capacity. We're just asking, can we level this playing field so that we can all participate fairly and squarely?
So where do you think more efforts are needed to achieve this parity? In school, in parliament, or in homes?
I believe it cuts across board. It requires, in my opinion, a paradigm shift because it has to start also from home in as much as we are asking it to cut across. In the home front, you notice that generally the boys in the house are treated differently from the girls. And this is again something we do so naturally because it's been there in the tradition. So there is a rethinking, a paradigm shift that is required by parenting today to acknowledge that the girl and the boy are at par, and therefore they should be brought up as such. There's still very many households in Kenya here where you find, especially the ones who are a bit challenged financially, you find that they would rather invest in the boy to go ahead in school than invest in the girl. So the girl is told, no, you have to wait, let your brother, go to school. So you find such decisions are being made because there's still that backdrop of thinking that then the boy is superior to the girl. And this is what I'm saying, at family level, a paradigm shift is also required. The education as well is required. Here we are having a lot of conversation going around with the STEM education for girls. That is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We are asking girls that they as well can participate, and they will be just as good as the boys, and that they will be innovators and they will be creators if they take on STEM, because we still find that boys are the ones who are encouraged to do more on the sciences than the girls. The girls are told, no, you can do, your home science and your agriculture and the likes. And we are saying, no, even girls can participate in science and technology.
All right, thank you very much.